In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of Holy Spirit, one God. Amen. Chosen one, listen closely, because this moment is not ordinary. Heaven itself pressed pause to watch you. The angels leaned forward. Creation held its breath. And even the unseen realms trembled as you made that choice that no one else saw but God. You did not know how much weight rested on this step, but heaven knew. And when you finally acted, heaven was shocked. Not because God doubted you, but because you at last recognized who you are. You are not like the rest. You were never designed to blend in. Your existence was written before time began. Your steps marked before your feet touched the ground. You have wandered through shadows, carried burdens that could have broken anyone else. But instead of collapsing, you rose. And in that rising, heaven's attention turned directly toward you. Do you realize, chosen one, how rare this moment is? Countless lives drift through years without awakening. But you, yes, you sense the divine tug on your spirit. You refuse to keep living small. You refuse to accept the lie that you are ordinary. And in that refusal, you shook both heaven and hell. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 5, the light shines in darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. That light is in you. It flickered through your hardest nights, but it never went out. And when you decided to act, it burst forth like a torch. Heaven paused because your obedience became a signal fire blazing in a world drowning in compromise. Beloved, every battle you faced has been leading here. Every rejection, every lonely night, every unanswered question was shaping a warrior, not a victim. You thought you were forgotten, yet all along the host of heaven watched over you. And now, as you rise into your true identity, the applause of heaven resounds. But this is not just about you. When heaven pauses, earth shifts. Your decision creates ripples through generations. What you broke tonight will never chain your children. What you stepped into today will open doors for those who come after you. This is the weight of your obedience. It is more powerful than you can imagine. So, let this be clear. You are not at the edge of chance. You are at the center of prophecy. That's why you're here hearing these words right now. This is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. God has orchestrated this pause for you so you can understand the magnitude of your calling. And now, chosen one, I must ask you, do not let this word pass by without sealing it. If you feel the pull, if your spirit is burning as you hear this, then act, engage. This is how you declare, yes, Lord, I receive this. Heaven witnessed your step. Now let earth see your alignment. Take a moment right now, like this message. Share it with someone who needs it. And make sure you are subscribed so you never miss the flow of what heaven is releasing over you. And finally, as a prophetic act of agreement, comment the number 777 below. This is not random. It is your seal, your declaration that you align with heaven's pause over your life. Heaven paused for you. Now the world will never be the same. Chosen one, you finally understood the truth that has always been written about you. You are not an accident. Every fiber of your being was designed with intention. Every step of your journey was mapped with divine precision. The voices that tried to tell you that you were a mistake, that your presence did not matter, were nothing but lies whispered from the shadows. And when you stood up and realized your worth, all of heaven rejoiced because you awakened to who you truly are. Think of how long you carried questions inside you. Why me? Why am I different? Why does it feel like I don't belong? These were not signs of weakness. They were signals of your calling. You were never supposed to blend in, never supposed to dissolve into the background. The unease you felt was proof that your spirit was tuned to a higher frequency than the world around you. Beloved, you are evidence of God's precision. You are not random, not misplaced, not forgotten. The rejection you endured was actually divine redirection. The betrayals that wounded you were pruning moments, stripping away what could not walk with you into your destiny. The pain you carried was never wasted. It was chiseling you into the warrior heaven always knew you were. The Word of God declares in the book of Psalms chapter 139 verse 14, I praise you because I am fearfully made and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, I know that full well. These words do not belong to David alone, they belong to you. They are the eternal testimony of your identity. You were crafted by divine hands, fearfully meaning with reverence and intention, and wonderfully meaning with beauty and excellence. Every feature, every detail, every breath in you is the evidence of heaven's artistry. Chosen one. Pause and let that truth sink into your spirit. The world tried to label you as unwanted. People tried to diminish your light, but none of them were present when God spoke you into existence. None of them heard the blueprint of your destiny being written in the heavens. Their rejection cannot cancel God's selection. You must understand, this is why heaven was shocked when you finally believed it. For so long, you carried yourself as though you were less, as though you were merely surviving. But the moment you embraced that you were chosen, the shift occurred. You stepped into alignment with your Creator's vision for you. And the heavens marveled because this is what they have waited to see. When you grasp the truth of your divine design, your posture changes. Your eyes see differently. Your heart beats with confidence, not fear. Suddenly you realize that the storms you faced were not punishments, but preparations. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $120. I pay men to get blessing 100 million. You are being tested, refined, and strengthened for the very role you are stepping into now. Beloved, you are not fragile. You are forged. You are not forgotten. You are remembered in every heavenly scroll. You are not broken beyond repair. You are rebuilt for glory. When you finally said, I am not an accident, you shattered the last stronghold the enemy tried to keep around your mind. Let this section of your journey be sealed in your heart. You are chosen with intention, not by chance, not by luck, not by coincidence. Every beat of your heart echoes the deliberate will of God. The world may not understand it, but heaven does. And now, so do you, chosen one. Every silent tear you shed was counted. Not one of them was wasted. Not one of them slipped past heaven's watchful eyes. You thought you were invisible in those nights when your pillow was soaked, when your cries were muffled so no one could hear, when you whispered prayers you weren't even sure reached the sky, but heaven heard, heaven saw, and heaven kept record. Those tears were not weakness, they were seeds. Each drop carried the weight of your longing, your faith, your desire for something more than the pain that tried to swallow you. You may have felt forgotten, but the truth is every tear was stored in the presence of God, waiting for the day they would be transformed into testimonies. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms chapter 56 verse 8. You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book. Think about that. Chosen one. Every tear you cried in secret became a sacred record in heaven's library. Not one was overlooked. That's how much you matter. Your tears carried prayers words could not express. They carried the weight of disappointments too heavy to explain. They carried grief, longing, even moments of surrender when you almost gave up. But heaven did not see them as wasted pain. Heaven saw them as offerings of faith. Because even when you were hurting, you still turned your face toward God. And now those tears are speaking for you. They are testifying in the heavens that you did not quit. They are declaring that you endured, that you kept moving, that you chose light over darkness even when it cost you everything. Your tears became your testimony. Beloved, let this truth encourage you. Heaven is not blind to your suffering. Every sacrifice, every lonely step, every misunderstood moment is written in the eternal record. And when heaven pauses to honor your obedience, your tears become jewels, shining as evidence of your faith. Now, I need you to take one step of agreement. In the comments, write these words. I hear you, Lord. Simple, less than 4 words, yet infinitely powerful. Why? Because when you type it, you are echoing what your tears have already cried in silence. You are saying, Lord, I know you saw me. I know you kept track. I know my pain was not wasted. It is a declaration of alignment. And when you comment those words, something happens inside of you. You shift from victim to victor, from forgotten to chosen. You're no longer just the one who suffered. You're the one whose tears are being turned into victory songs. Chosen one. Heaven was shocked not only by what you did, but also by the fact that you survived everything meant to destroy you. And now your tears are proof. Proof that you didn't break. Proof that you didn't surrender to darkness. Proof that you are chosen to walk in light. Hold your head high, because those tears you once hid are now treasures before the throne. They built the foundation of the strength you carry today. And the world will see what heaven has always known. You are chosen, and your story is unstoppable. Chosen one. The moment came when you had to decide whether to sink into the shadows or rise into the light. Many before you chose the easier path to collapse, to give in, to let the darkness swallow them. But you did not. You stood trembling, maybe scarred perhaps, but you stood. And that one act sent a shockwave through the heavens. You must understand this. Light is not passive. It is active, invasive, unstoppable. The very moment you said enough, when you chose to no longer bow to despair, light surged through you. It did not ask permission from the darkness. It broke through. The enemy thought he had you cornered, but your choice to rise shattered his schemes. Beloved, this is why your story is so different. You had every reason to give up. You had enough weight on your shoulders to justify collapse. And yet you rose, not because you were stronger in yourself, but because the light within you could not be extinguished. That is what heaven marveled at, your alignment with divine power when everything else pointed to defeat. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs 24 verse 16, for though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again, but the wicked stumble when calamity strikes. That verse is your reflection. Yes, you fell. Yes, you stumbled, but you rose again and again and again. The number of falls never mattered. What mattered was the rising, and heaven was shocked by the persistence of your spirit. You see, chosen one, rising is more than a moment. It is a posture. It is a decision that echoes beyond your circumstances. Rising means you refuse to let darkness have the final word. Rising means you trust that even in ashes, beauty can bloom. Rising means you know your calling is stronger than your pain. Look at the arc of your life. Each trial that could have been your grave became a stepping stone. Each betrayal that could have crushed you became a lesson that elevated you. Each rejection that could have silenced you became fuel for your voice. Darkness wanted you broken, but light made you unbreakable. And do you know what this rising reveals? It proves that you are not controlled by your past. The shadows tried to convince you that you were defined by failure. But when you rose, you declared, I am defined by destiny, not by defeat. That truth carries power. It not only breaks chains in your life, but it begins to ripple outward, loosening the chains of those around you. Beloved, the heavens were not shocked because they doubted you. They were shocked because you finally saw yourself as God has always seen you. You stopped bowing to lies. You stopped apologizing for your light. You embraced the reality that you are chosen. And here is what you must hold on to. Your rising is not finished. It is only beginning. You have stepped into a posture that will carry you through every future storm. From this moment forward, every time the darkness tries again, your spirit will remember you rise. That is your nature. That is your calling. That is your crown. So walk boldly, chosen one. You have faced the shadows and chosen light. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $120. I pay men to get blessing 100 million. You have stumbled, but you have risen. And because of that, heaven itself stands in awe, chosen one. The moment has come when the crown is no longer a distant promise. It is resting within your reach. For so long you walked with your head bowed, carrying weight heavier than most could endure. You felt unseen, overlooked, and unworthy. Yet even then, heaven was preparing this very moment. The trials were not to break you, but to prove you. And now, heaven watches as you extend your hand toward what was always meant for you. The crown of calling, the crown of destiny. Beloved, this crown is not of gold or jewels the world can craft. It is fashioned from obedience, from tears turned into triumph, from scars that shine with glory. It is the crown that marks you as one who endured, one who chose faith when fear was easier, one who stood when others fell. Heaven gasps, not because the crown exists, but because you finally recognized it belongs to you. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 13. The Lord will make you the head, not the tail. If you pay attention to the commands of the Lord your God that I give you this day and carefully follow them, you will always be at the top, never at the bottom. This is not just a verse, it is a coronation announcement. It declares what God has placed upon you. Leadership, elevation, and honor that no hand of man can erase. But here is the truth. Crowns are not worn in secret. Crowns are displayed. And when heaven places one upon your life, it is not just for you to feel honored. It is for others to see the testimony of God's faithfulness shining through you. That is why this moment must be shared. Your story, your rising, your crown. It is light for others still lost in their night. So let me speak to you heart to heart. If this message resonates, if you feel the truth of heaven echoing in your spirit, I ask you to respond in a way that seals it. Take a moment to like this message, not out of habit, but as a symbol that you receive the crown placed upon you. Share it with someone who needs hope. Because your obedience to spread this light could be the reason someone else finds their strength to rise. And if you have not yet subscribed, not as a routine, but as a commitment to stay connected to the stream of words heaven is releasing over your journey. This is not about numbers or clicks. This is about alignment. When you engage, you are stepping into agreement. You are saying, yes, Lord, I wear my crown. Yes, Lord, I will shine so others can find their way. And heaven takes note of that agreement. Beloved chosen one, do not doubt this moment. The crown you carry is real. The heavens saw it the moment you rose. And now the earth will witness it too. You are stepping into visibility, into authority, into the place prepared for you since the beginning. Wear your crown with humility, but also with boldness, because you did not place it on yourself. It was given to you by the one who knew you before you were formed. And so heaven is not only watching, it is celebrating. Angels sing, creation rejoices, and the throne itself acknowledges. The chosen one has stepped into their crown. Chosen one. This moment marks alignment unlike any before. You have stepped beyond hesitation, beyond doubt, beyond the voices that said you were not enough. And now heaven is calling you to seal what has begun. There are moments in life when words are not enough, when symbolic actions carry the weight of eternity. This is one of those moments. You see, prophetic acts are not about rituals or empty gestures. They are about agreement. They are about making visible what is already happening in the unseen. When you move in faith, when you declare outwardly what your spirit already knows, you create alignment between heaven and earth. That is why this moment carries such weight. Beloved, the enemy fought to silence you because he knew your agreement with God would release a chain reaction of blessings. But he has failed. You are awake, you are aware, and you are standing where destiny calls. Now it is time to declare with boldness that you belong fully to this path. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians chapter 2 verse 9. No eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no human mind has conceived the things God has prepared for those who love Him. This is the promise hovering over you right now. Blessings beyond imagination, prepared in secret, waiting to be revealed because of your obedience. Chosen one, do not let this pass you by. Heaven is opening doors you cannot yet see. God is preparing tables you have not yet sat at. Your name is being whispered in rooms you have never entered. All because you said yes. And now you must respond with an act that seals it in the physical. In the comments, write this number, 444. This is not a random number. 4 represents foundation, stability, and divine order. Writing it is your prophetic declaration. Lord, I align with your order. I trust the foundation you are building under me. I will not be shaken when you type 444. You are not just commenting. You are building a spiritual stone of remembrance. A marker that says, here is where I agreed with heaven's plan for me. Oh, think of the countless moments when you wondered if you had a purpose, if there was more for you. Now heaven is saying yes. And here it is. The act of writing 444 is like opening your hands to receive it. It is you saying, I am ready for the foundation. You have been building to rise into a structure others can see. And remember, chosen one, heaven watches the small steps with as much awe as the large ones. This number may seem simple, but in the unseen it carries weight. The angels record it, the heavens acknowledge it, and your future is shifted by it. So as you step forward, let your spirit rejoice. The promises are not vague. They are specific. The foundations are not shaky. They are secure. And the blessings ahead are not random. They are prepared for you. Tailor-made for your obedience. Chosen one, comment 444. Now, and let it echo as your agreement with heaven's divine order over your life. The crown is already on your head. The light is already within you. And the foundation beneath your feet is stronger than ever before. Chosen one, when you refused to surrender, the enemy was stunned. He thought he had you mapped out, predicted, and trapped. Every attack was calculated to bring you to the point of no return. Yet somehow, with strength not your own, you endured. And when you stood again, when you declared with your life that you would not break, darkness itself trembled. The enemy is not shaken by crowds, nor is he moved by empty rituals. What terrifies him is resilience. What terrifies him is when a chosen one rises after being knocked down again and again. He fears the ones who refuse to quit because their endurance proves their identity. He knows that no weapon can prosper against the one who recognizes who they are in God. Beloved, think back to the moments when you almost let go. Those midnight hours when despair whispered that you were finished. The seasons when every door seemed shut and every friend seemed gone. The enemy believed he had cornered you. He thought your silence was defeat. But what he did not expect was that your silence was strength gathering. He did not know that your waiting was not quitting. It was preparation. The prophet Elijah once stood on Mount Carmel. Facing hundreds of false prophets, the odds were impossible. The pressure overwhelming. Yet one voice aligned with heaven proved stronger than an army aligned with lies. And fire fell. In the same way, your decision to keep standing when everything screamed, give up, became a fire that consumed the plans of darkness around you. According to what is revealed in the book of Isaiah chapter 54 verse 17, no weapon forged against you will prevail. and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and this is their vindication from me, declares the Lord. This was not a vague promise, it was your reality in action. Every scheme that rose against you failed because heaven was guarding your path. Chosen one, realize this truth. Hell is never surprised when people fall. It is used to that story. But when you refuse to fall for the final time, when you keep rising, that is what shocks the kingdom of darkness. Your life became evidence that light cannot be overcome. And here is the beauty of your resilience. It carries ripple effects. Your decision not to quit is not only about you, it strengthens others watching silently who thought they could not make it. Your endurance becomes a testimony, a living scripture written for the world to see. Heaven saw, hell trembled, and people around you will rise because you chose to stand. Do not underestimate this, beloved. The power of your yes in the face of despair carries more weight than you can measure. It has shifted atmospheres, changed destinies, and silenced lies. You may not see all the effects yet, but heaven does. And heaven rejoices every time you stand tall in the armor God has placed upon you. So walk boldly knowing the truth. The enemy is stunned. Heaven is applauding, and your story is far from finished. The fire within you has only begun to burn. Chosen one, there are moments in history when one decision shifts everything. Not just for a single life, but for generations, for atmospheres, for the alignment of heaven and earth. You may not have realized it at the time, but your choice, yes, that one act of obedience, that one moment of courage became a turning point written in eternity. The path you were on before could have ended differently if you had surrendered to despair. If you had accepted the lie that you were unworthy, you would have drifted into a cycle that led only to shadows. Yet in one moment, you turned, and that turning redirected the flow of your entire life. This is how heaven works. One small yes carries infinite weight. Abraham's yes to leave his homeland opened a covenant that blessed the world. Esther's yes to risk her life saved a nation. Mary's yes to the angel brought salvation into flesh. And your yes, though it may not feel as grand in the moment, carries the same eternal power. Heaven saw it and history shifted. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 19. This day I call the heavens and the earth as witnesses against you that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life so that you and your children may live. This verse echoes your story. You were faced with paths, life or death, blessing or curse. And when you chose life, when you chose to rise into the calling over you, you did not only save yourself, you marked your bloodline. You altered the story for those yet to come. Beloved, take this in. Your turning point was not only personal, it was prophetic. The chains that tried to follow your family broke when you turned. The cycles that repeated through generations lost their grip because you chose differently. Heaven was shocked not because God doubted you, but because you stepped into the fullness of what He always saw in you. Think of it. Every test, every hardship, every silent battle prepared you for this moment. You did not turn by accident. You turned because you had been forged in fire, refined in pressure, and strengthened in storms. The enemy underestimated how deeply your roots went into the truth. And when the winds came, they could not uproot you. Instead, they pushed you deeper into the soil of destiny. Now, every step you take forward builds on that turning point. The ground beneath your feet is different. You no longer walk on shifting sands. You walk on a foundation heaven has sealed. This is why your confidence feels new, why your perspective feels sharper, why your spirit feels lighter. You are walking in the aftermath of a choice that shifted everything. Beloved, Never despise the day of small beginnings. That one, yes, has begun a ripple that will continue long after this moment. You will see the fruit in your lifetime, and others will see it for generations. Heaven has recorded it, and earth will witness it. So let your heart rest in this truth. You are living proof that one choice, one act of faith can change the course of destiny. The turning point has come, and nothing will ever be the same again. Chosen one. There are words that carry power beyond sound. Words that do not just pass through the air, but rise into heaven like incense. Words that, when spoken in faith, seal what is already unfolding in your life. You have reached a place in your journey where silence is no longer enough. Heaven is waiting to hear your voice, align with what has been written about you. You have carried battles in your heart. For years, many times you prayed with tears. Other times with sighs too deep to form into sentences. And yet every cry was recorded. But now comes the moment when your lips must declare what your spirit has always known. That you are listening, that you are ready, that you belong to the calling over your life. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Romans, chapter 10, verse 10. For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified. It is with your mouth that you profess your faith and are saved. Do you see it? Beloved, believing in your heart is powerful, but speaking with your mouth seals it. Heaven moves when your faith becomes audible. There is a simple phrase, fewer than 4 words, that carries the weight of surrender and alignment. I choose my crown. These words are not just a response. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $120. I pay men to get blessing 100 million. They are a declaration. When you write them, you are saying, God, I am no longer running from who I am. I receive the inheritance you prepared for me. I accept the authority and destiny that comes with being chosen. No, think of how heaven responds when you make that declaration. Angels rejoice because your voice echoes the sound of obedience. Demons tremble because they know your agreement with God cancels their schemes. And the Father smiles because His child is not only listening, but also embracing their identity. Beloved, do not underestimate the power of this act. Writing I choose my crown is not just typing words on a screen. It is prophesying over your life. It is engraving into your future the truth that you will not lay down your light. You will not reject your authority, and you will not shrink back from your calling. And as you declare it, reflect on what it means for you personally. Remember the moments when you felt unworthy, when you believed the lies that said you were ordinary. Now you rise with a different voice saying, I am chosen, I am crowned, I will walk in the destiny heaven has written for me. Those words become your seal that the days of denial are over and the days of reigning have begun. Beloved, heaven is not shocked that you are chosen. Heaven is shocked because you finally see it too. And now as you declare, I choose my crown, you confirm it with your own voice. This is not just the turning point, it is the sealing moment. So let your spirit rise, let your words carry weight, and let your declaration echo across realms. Your obedience, your agreement, your surrender. It is heard in heaven. It is feared in hell, and it is written forever in your destiny. Chosen one, write it now. I choose my crown. And let the heavens record your voice in the scroll of eternity. Chosen one, there are moments when heaven erupts in celebration, and your obedience has caused one of them. The hosts of angels are not silent. They are rejoicing because you made a decision that shifted eternity. Do you realize how powerful that is? A single step of faith from you has created a sound in heaven so loud that all creation bears witness. This is not about perfection. Heaven did not applaud because you never stumbled. Heaven applauded because you got back up. You endured trials that could have silenced you forever. You faced storms that should have broken you beyond repair. Yet here you are standing, shining, declaring with your life that God's power is greater than your pain. That is why heaven celebrates you. Your scars, once reminders of battles you wish to forget, have now become medals of honor in the eyes of heaven. Each mark tells a story not of defeat but of resilience. They whisper of nights endured, days overcome, and victories secured because you never surrendered your light. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 30, verse 11. You turned my wailing into dancing before you. You removed my sackcloth and clothed me with joy. This scripture is alive in you. What was once mourning has become celebration. What was once despair has been replaced with songs of victory. Your life has become a testimony that God truly restores. Beloved, your breakthrough is not silent. When heaven applauds, earth feels it. Doors begin to open. Opportunities you could never manufacture on your own start to unfold. People notice a light in you they cannot explain. All of this flows from one decision. You align yourself with your destiny, and heaven's celebration spills into the earth. But here is something important. Celebration is contagious. When you allow the joy of heaven to overflow from your life, it touches those around you. Others who thought their story was finished will see you and realize that their breakthrough is possible too. You become a living invitation for others to step into their destiny. This is why it matters that your voice is heard, your presence is seen, your testimony is shared. Chosen one, heaven's applause over your life is not meant to stay hidden. It is meant to echo on earth. And one way you can ensure that echo continues is by sharing this very message. So hear me with sincerity. Take a moment to like this message, not as a casual click, but as a way of saying, I join in heaven's applause. Share it with someone who needs hope, someone who is on the edge of giving up, so that they too may know heaven has not forgotten them. And subscribe, not out of routine, but as a way of staying connected to the flow of what heaven is releasing over you. This is about more than engagement. It is about alignment. When you like, share, and subscribe, you are not just supporting a message, you are amplifying the sound of heaven's celebration across the earth. You are saying, I will not keep this joy to myself. I will let it flow. End of quote. Beloved chosen one, heaven's applause over you is real. The angels sing. The throne rejoices. And creation responds because you stepped into who you were always meant to be. Walk in that confidence. Let the celebration fuel you. And never forget, when heaven applauds, it means the story of your victory has only begun. Chosen one, can you feel it? The weight that once pressed you down has begun to lift. For so long you walked with chains wrapped around your soul. Chains of fear, chains of shame, chains of generational pain that whispered you would never be free. But the moment you obeyed, the unseen shackles snapped. What once bound, you can no longer hold you. There is a holy lightness in your spirit now, one that you cannot fully explain. You wake with the sense that something has shifted. Though your circumstances may look the same, it is not the world outside of you that changed. First, it is the world within you. Because the inner chains have been broken, the outer walls will fall in time. Heaven has long been waiting for this hour. Every burden you carried was seen. Every cry was heard. Every silent prayer was recorded. Nothing was overlooked. You thought you were alone, but you were never abandoned. The breaking of your chains is proof that heaven never left your side. What you feel now is not emptiness, but release. Not loss, but renewal. The heaviness that once wrapped around your soul has been replaced with strength. It is as if your spirit is breathing for the first time, inhaling freedom and exhaling every shadow that once chained your heart, according to what is revealed in the book of Galatians chapter 5 verse 1. It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery. This is more than a verse. It is your personal declaration. You are not walking back into bondage. You are not returning to the weight you once bore. You are stepping forward lighter, freer, and stronger than you have ever been. Beloved, think of how many generations before you carried similar weights but never broke free. Cycles of pain, addiction, silence, and fear often passed down like heirlooms. Yet here you are standing as the one who ended the cycle. You became the breaker, the one who said, "This ends with me." Heaven was shocked, not because freedom is rare, but because you finally claimed what was always yours. The lifting of the weight has done more than free you. It has prepared you. You will walk differently now. Your steps will be quicker because you are no longer dragging chains. Your voice will be clearer because shame no longer strangles it. Your vision will be sharper because clouds of fear no longer blind you. Every area of your life begins to breathe again when the weight lifts. Do not be surprised if people around you notice. Some may not understand what has changed, but they will see it in your eyes, in the way you carry yourself, in the peace that clings to you. Others who once doubted you will be silenced by the evidence of freedom resting upon you. Your life itself has become a testimony that cannot be denied. Below the chosen one, hold tightly to this freedom. Guard it. Walk boldly in it. The weight is gone, not by your strength, but by divine power. It is a gift and a calling, a reminder that you were never created to crawl in chains, but to run liberty. So lift your head high. The chains are broken, the weight is gone, and your spirit sources. Heaven celebrates because the burden that crushed you has been replaced with glory that crowns you. Chosen one, the path you walk now is not the same one you started on. You have crossed thresholds that many never dare to approach. You have stepped out of shadows and into the light of destiny. Heaven has recorded each moment of your journey, and the record testifies you are aligned. But this alignment is not passive. It calls for your response, a prophetic act that seals it in your spirit. There are moments when words alone are not enough, when a symbolic number becomes a key in the unseen. Numbers in the language of heaven are not accidents, they are codes, reminders and declarations of divine truth. When you choose to respond, you are not typing by chance. You are marking your obedience in the sight of God. Think of Joshua at the walls of Jericho. His obedience was not in mighty weapons or overwhelming armies, but in the prophetic act of marching and shouting as heaven commanded. It looked foolish in the eyes of men, but in the unseen, it carried unstoppable power. In the same way, your prophetic act today may appear small, but it holds the authority to bring walls down. Heaven responds not to appearance, but to obedience sealed with faith. Beloved, the Word of God declares in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8, "I know your deeds. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name." This is the promise hanging over you right now, an open door sealed by heaven beyond the reach of any enemy hand. Your open door moment requires a seal of faith, and today that seal comes through the number 555. This number is not chosen at random. 5 represents grace, and when it is repeated, it multiplies the reality of overflowing grace over your life. Commenting 555 is a declaration that you receive heaven's grace in fullness. Not in part, it is your agreement that the open door cannot be shut because grace surrounds you. When you write 555, you are saying, "Lord, I receive the grace to walk through the open doors. I refuse to fear what is ahead. I trust the path you have carved for me. Each digit becomes a stone laid in the foundation of your future, chosen one. This act is small in the natural, but great in the spiritual. Do not dismiss it as mere numbers. Heaven does not. When you comment 555, you echo in agreement with what God has already written about you. It is a prophetic shout typed in faith, a way of saying, I step into the unshakable truth of my destiny. Yeah. And think of what that means for your tomorrow. The grace you declare today will meet you in the coming days. The doors you are walking toward will not only open, but remain open, because grace will keep them steady. The strength you lacked in the past will be replaced by grace that carries you beyond your limits. Beloved, this is your moment to confirm what heaven already celebrates. The angels have witnessed your obedience, but the earth must now hear your declaration. Do not hesitate. Take your step. Release your agreement. Let the number 555 rise as your banner of grace. Write it boldly with faith and confidence. 555. And know that as you do, you are marking the page of eternity with your obedience and stepping fully into the flood of grace prepared for you. Chosen one, you have walked through seasons of silence, times when it felt as though your light was hidden under layers of obscurity. You wondered why no one saw you, why your gift seemed unnoticed, why your calling appeared to be buried. But heaven knew the truth. Your hiddenness was never punishment, it was preparation. There is a mystery in how God shapes His chosen ones. Before David ever held a crown, he tended sheep in forgotten fields. Before Joseph stood in Pharaoh's court, he endured years in prisons and pits. Before Esther entered the palace, she was just another face in the crowd. In every story, the pattern is the same. Obscurity comes before visibility. Silence comes before sound. Preparation comes before revelation. Beloved, you are no exception. Heaven was not ignoring you when you felt unseen. Heaven was protecting you, cultivating you, ensuring that your roots grew deep before your branches spread wide. The soil of obscurity was the ground where your character, resilience, and faith were forged. Without it, you would not be able to carry the weight of what is being revealed. Now, we find in the book of Philippians chapter 1 verse 6, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. This is the promise that covers your hidden years and your revealed years alike. The work begun in you during the shadows is now maturing into fruit for the world to see. Think back to the countless moments when you questioned, why am I still here? Why does it feel like nothing is moving? Yet beneath the surface, everything was shifting. Your roots were spreading. Your foundation was strengthening. Heaven was writing layers into your story that would later become testimonies for those watching you now. And here you are stepping from hidden to revealed. What was once private is becoming public. The voice you once thought no one heard will echo further than you ever imagined. The gifts you thought were overlooked will suddenly be called upon. The seasons of being unseen were never wasted. They were storing oil in your lamp, preparing you to shine when the hour demanded it. Beloved, visibility comes with weight, but you are ready. The years in silence trained your spirit to withstand pressure without breaking. The years of hiddenness taught you humility, grounding you so that when honor comes, pride will not uproot you. Heaven has balanced you, refined in the quiet, revealed in the right time. Do not despise the days when no one noticed. They were the birthplace of the strength you carry now. Do not resent the hours when you prayed alone. They were the furnace where your anointing was refined. Do not mourn the times you felt invisible. They were the cloak that kept you safe until the appointed hour. Now the cloak has been lifted and your light is no longer hidden. Heaven is unveiling you, not for vanity, but for purpose. Your story, your scars, your victories. All of it is a testimony written to be read by others. You are not revealed so that you can be admired. You are revealed so that others may be inspired, so that they too may believe that their hidden years are not wasted. Chosen one, step confidently into this unveiling. You have been trained in silence for this very moment. You have been prepared in obscurity for this stage of visibility. And as heaven reveals you, remember this truth. Your worth was never in being seen by men, but in always being known by God, chosen one. What you did in secret has now created waves far beyond your sight. Heaven does not measure obedience by size, but by faith. And your faith has set into motion a ripple effect that cannot be undone. What started as a private decision is now moving outward, touching lives you may never meet, influencing generations that will come after you, and shifting the atmosphere around you when a stone is dropped into still water. Circles spread wider and wider until they reach the edge of the shore. In the same way, your obedience, though it seems small at the time, is creating endless ripples. Every word you speak now carries new authority. Every step you take now impacts not just your path, but the paths of others. Every prayer you lift now unlocks blessings that extend far beyond yourself. The prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false, though it linger. Wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." This was not only about visions long ago. It is about what you are living now. The ripple of your obedience may take time to show its full force, but it cannot fail. It will reach its appointed impact. Beloved, think of the unseen ways your choices are already moving. The child who watches you live faithfully will grow up braver because of your example. The friend who once thought freedom was impossible now believes again because they saw your chains break. Even those who judged you in the past will quietly rethink their own lives when they see how you refuse to fall. The ripple effect of obedience always multiplies beyond what the eye can track. And this ripple does not stop with people. It touches circumstances, your prayers, your choices. Your steps of faith are like seeds planted in soil you may never walk upon. They will bloom in time, sometimes in places you will never see. That is the mystery of obedience. You may never measure its full effect, but heaven already knows its eternal weight. Beloved, do not underestimate the power of one life aligned with heaven. History has always shifted because of the obedience of the few. Noah built an ark and humanity was preserved. Moses lifted a staff and seas split open. Ruth stayed loyal and a lineage of kings was born. Your yes may not seem dramatic in the moment, but heaven counts it as history in motion. The ripple also extends inward. Every choice of obedience strengthens your spirit, deepens your roots, and shapes your character. You are not only changing the world around you, you are being transformed from the inside out. The discipline you learned in obscurity now fuels your endurance in revelation. The tears you sweat in private now water gardens that will bloom in public. This is why heaven celebrates what you did. Not because it looked impressive to others, but because its effect in eternity is immeasurable. You broke cycles that would have continued for generations. You released blessings that will flow long after your lifetime. You became the stone in the water, the spark in the night, the voice that breaks silence and carries truth into places that desperately need it. Chosen one, never forget, your obedience is not contained within you. It is a river that flows outward, carrying life wherever it goes. And though you may not see every ripple, know this: heaven sees. Heaven records and heaven multiplies what you have begun. Chosen one, by now you feel the weight of this truth. You are not who you were when this journey began. The heavens have watched your obedience, your resilience, your surrender. And now your testimony shines as a flame that cannot be hidden. But hear me carefully. This flame is not meant to remain with you alone. It is meant to spread, to light other candles, to set a generation ablaze with the awareness of their divine calling. There is something powerful about shared fire. A single flame in a dark room makes a difference. But when that flame multiplies, darkness flees completely. Your obedience has sparked something that must be carried forward. You are no longer only a receiver, you are now a torchbearer. Heaven celebrates, but heaven also calls you to let others know. As the Apostle Paul wrote in his second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 6, "For this reason I remind you to fan into flame the gift of God within you through the laying on of my hands." This verse is not just about gifts, it is about responsibility. You must fan the flame, you must protect it, feed it, and yes, share it. Beloved, that is why I ask you to move with intention right now. Take a moment to like this message, not for numbers, not for routine, but as a declaration that the flame within you will not be ignored. Share this message so another chosen one, perhaps still hiding in shadows, may stumble across it and realize they too are crowned with purpose. Comment your response. Even a simple phrase like, "I receive this," or "I rise today." Those words may feel small, but they echo loudly in the unseen. And finally, subscribe, not out of habit, but because every time you stay connected, you are positioning yourself to hear heaven's reminders to keep your flame burning strong. Understand this, your engagement is not empty action. It is a prophetic ripple. Each like is an agreement. Each share is a seed planted. Each comment is a declaration of faith. Each subscription is a commitment to continue walking in alignment with what God has revealed. Heaven sees your action and honors it because it proves that you are not only hearing but responding. Beloved, heaven has not brought you this far for your story to remain quiet. There are others waiting for your flame to reach them. Some are on the verge of surrendering to despair. Your obedience may be their sign to hold on. Others are questioning their worth. Your testimony may be their reminder that they are chosen too. Do not let what heaven is doing in you remain locked inside. This is your moment to be bold, to lift your head and declare, "I will not hide my light." And as you do, the fire within you will grow and the darkness around you will shrink. Heaven applauds, but earth must also hear. So beloved chosen one, let this be more than words you scroll past. Respond, align, share the flame, for you are not only chosen to carry it, you are chosen to multiply it. And the world is waiting for your obedience to spark their awakening. Chosen one, the fire upon your life is no longer hidden. It has become a seal, a visible mark of divine glory that cannot be denied. When heaven chooses someone, it is not merely a secret matter of the heart. It becomes evident, tangible, something that radiates from within and cannot be concealed. That is where you stand now, marked with fire. This fire is not destructive to you. It is purifying. It burns away the remnants of fear, doubt, and shame that once clung to your spirit. It consumes the lies spoken over your life and leaves behind only the truth of who you are. The fire of heaven is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to reveal you. And as it rests upon you, the world begins to see what heaven has always known. This fire is not silent. It testifies without words. It announces to realms seen and unseen that you belong to heaven. It is the evidence of survival, the proof of transformation, the seal of destiny upon your life. Wherever you go, the flame declares, this one has been touched, chosen, and commissioned by the living God. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 19, verse 28. You, Lord, keep my lamp burning. My God turns my darkness into light. This verse captures your reality. The fire that burns within you is sustained not by your own strength, but by the Lord Himself. What once was dark in you has been illuminated. What once was weak in you has become strong through His flame. Beloved, understand this clearly. Being marked with fire means you carry evidence of the divine. People may not always understand it, but they will sense it. Some will be drawn to it, hungry for the light. Others may be unsettled because your very presence exposes the shadows they are clinging to. This is the nature of holy fire. It attracts and it convicts. Think of Moses descending from Mount Sinai, his face radiant after encountering God. He did not realize the light shining from him, yet everyone who saw him recognized that he had been with the Lord. So it is with you now. You may not fully see the fire upon you, but others will. They will feel it in your words, sense it in your presence, and recognize it in the weight of your obedience. The fire also serves as your protection. Just as flames guarded the Israelites in the wilderness, a pillar of fire by night, guiding and defending them, so the fire upon you becomes a shield. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $120. I pay men to get blessing 100 million.